Welcome to today's full body workout, volume number 14. Let's get ready to work today, starting with our warm-up. We're looking for high knees for 30 seconds. Your goal is to bring your knees up, grabbing them with your hands and alternating. Let's get it. And breathe. Good job. This is going to lead us right into our next exercise, which is alternating quad stretch. This stretch is meant to stretch out the muscles in the front of the legs. So what you want to do is alternate each leg, pulling at your ankle for 15 seconds. And breathe. Going into our next warm-up, we have torso twist. This is to stretch out the muscles of our back. Stand with your feet straddled in straddled position and just rotate side to side. 15 seconds and go. And rest. So we always repeat our warm-ups twice. So let's go back to the top, starting with our high knees. Next up, we have our torso twist for 15 seconds. And break. So the games begin. So today what we have on our workout plan is 9 exercises broken down into 3 circuits. We're going to start with our first circuit, and remember, my workout plan for us is on the floor, so you will see me looking down to stay on track. So our first exercise we have is an uneven squat to press. You're going to bring your feet out to a squat position, one arm out for balance, and then your dumbbell in the opposite hand. From there, we go down to the squat and push. We need 45 seconds, starting in 3, 2, and go. Pause and switch sides. and break. So that's lower body, that's arms, that's legs, a great combination for our first start of our workout. Now let's dive into our next exercise. Our next exercise we have is a push to press. So you're gonna combine your squat again with an overhead press. This time, we need both arms extending up at the top. We're looking for 45 seconds on the clock. Start in 3, 2, and go. Keep this exercise going. So here's your pro tip for a squat to press. You want to make sure as you come up out of that squat to squeeze your ears. And what I mean by that is bring your arms as close as you can towards your ears. So you don't want to do halfway movements, full out for the best results. We need 15 more seconds. And break. Now I always give you 30 seconds of a break after each exercise. Now if you need a little longer, feel free to pause and come back with us with the workout. In 30 seconds, we're gonna go into our next movement, which is banded step outs. All right, for this next exercise, you do need a band, but if you don't have a band, what we call our booty bands near you, it's okay. You can do this just body weight. If you have your band, you're gonna place your band above your knee. We're gonna step side to side in place. So we're moving, shifting our weight side to side, right? You can welcome to take multiple steps out to the side. You can really advance this movement, but your hands are behind your head, going down into a squat, shifting your body to each side like this. Your goal is to stay in this squat for 45 seconds. You ready? Let's work. And breathe. So you should definitely feel the muscles of your glutes, your booty muscles. You should feel your legs too. That's a great way to finish that first circuit. So go ahead and take 30 seconds of a cool down, get some water, dry down the sweat, and let's prepare for circuit number 2. All right, here we go. Let's go into our second round of our very first circuit. Starting with our first movement, uneven squat to press. Go ahead and grab your weights and let's work it out. and breathe. 30-second recovery. Don't let those weights get too far from you, because we have another exercise coming up. We have our next movement, which is a squat to overhead press. But remember, we're using both weights on this one. 20 seconds left of a breathe. All right, here we go, and start it out. And rest your weights. So go ahead and grab those bands. You know, our next movement, it requires that. You have 30 seconds of a break, and we'll start back. All right, let's get ready to start our next exercise. We need our bands. The band, remember, is at your knee, up a little bit above your knee, not directly on your knee as well. So here we go. 45 seconds in 3, 2, and go. And break. Good job. That's an endurance exercise right there. You have 30 seconds of recovery, and we're going to get ready to go into our next circuit. All right, here we go. So we're going into our next circuit. Our next circuit requires a block or a book. You can use a yoke block, you can use a aerobic step, anything to elevate your back leg. We're gonna go into split squats, aka Bulgarian split squats. Let's go into it. So grab your step, place it behind you. Just like our basic lunges, we're gonna think about just elevating our back foot. Instead of being on the floor, it's elevated. From there, our weights are in our hands by our side. We want to dip that knee to the floor, loading our front leg, pushing away, squeezing our quads and our booty muscles. You should feel them firing. We need 25 seconds each leg, and let's work. Keep this exercise going. Here is your pro tip for doing a split squat. If one, you struggle with weak knees or knees that cannot handle this movement, Take the block away and just work on reverse lunges or static lunges. Make sure you're keeping your hips tucked underneath you and keep your chest tall so we can hit the muscles of our quads. And rest. What we do to one, we do to the other. So switch legs. And let's work. Keep this exercise going. Now we have about 15 more seconds. I want you to get that knee as far to the floor as you possibly can. Did you know when it comes to Bulgarian split squats that depending on how far you're leaning forward or keeping your posture up, works different muscles. So if you're leaning forward more, you're gonna hit the muscles of the butt, your glutes. So if you wanna target that, you can lean forward. If you wanna work on this muscle up here, i.e. your quads, keep your chest tall to target that muscle group. And rest. Good job. So we're gonna breathe for a second, bringing our hands up, catching our breath, and shaking out those legs as we go into our next circuit or our next movement in 15 seconds. All right, our next exercise coming up is a squat to upright row. This exercise is great for legs and for upper body, so grab your weights. With our feet in a squat stance, we want our weights in front of us, going down and pulling our elbows up and back for 45 seconds. 3, 2, and work. And break. Good job. So that is the upper body movement. You should definitely feel the muscles of the upper back. 30-second recovery. This is going to get us ready for our next exercise. All right, so join me for our next movement. We're gonna elevate our front foot on this one to work the muscles of the glutes, the booty muscles. So you do need a dumbbell, a set for this exercise. You're gonna elevate your front leg. If you don't have a step, that's okay. You're gonna still slightly bend that front leg, bending and lifting, keeping that back leg super straight. We need 25 seconds each leg. 3, 2, and let's work. And breathe, switching legs. And let's work. Good job, and rest. So you should feel the glute muscles on fire after that exercise. Make sure when you do this movement you use proper balance as well, because it does challenge it, right? So let's get ready to go into our break and get ready for our next exercise, which is brings us back to the top of the circuit. All right, so here we go. We're back at the top of the circuit again, going to our next exercise. So our back foot is elevated for our Bulgarian split squats. I'm gonna start with my left leg in front, starting in 3, 2, and go. And rest and breathe. Good job. Let's get ready to go into our 30-second break. Do shake those legs out. I know they should be on fire right now. This exercise is definitely a lower body circuit right now, so take your cool down and join me in 15. All right, so go ahead and grab those weights. We have a squat to upright row. And let's work. And breathe. So don't let those weights go. Again, you have 30 seconds of recovery, and join me back for our final exercise of the circuit. All right, let's work. Starting with our right foot, or actually our left foot forward, back leg extended straight, chest up. Keep this exercise going, and here are your pro tips. Pro tip when doing a single leg press up, you want to make sure that your shoulders stay over your hips. So keep your back neutral as possible. Avoid slouching around in your shoulders. Instead, keep your shoulders rolled back, chest out. And as you do this movement, it's all taking place at the hip. So again, you should feel your booty muscles on fire, and pretend like you're tapping your toe into the pool. You're not resting your body weight fully on the floor, so you can keep the load and the activation on that front leg. And rest. Go ahead and switch legs to the opposite side. And let's work. And rest and breathe. 30-second recovery coming up. Good job on dominating your first 2 circuits. We're gonna get ready for our final circuit coming up in 30 seconds. All right, so are you ready for the final circuit? So this is when we need to really push through for the final results, right? So let's jump into it. We have our first exercise, squat to alternating rotate press. You won't need your steps, so we're gonna toss that to the side, but you will need a dumbbell. Squatting down, rotating, squeezing your ears, bringing the arms super close to your ear, back down to that squat for 45, starting now. Keep this exercise going. Here's your pro tip for performing a squat to alternating press with a rotation added in. This rotation is to help us with coordination for one, and that also helps challenge our core. So as you're doing this exercise, notice how my back leg or my right foot pivots as I squat, almost like a golf swing. I'm pivoting on that back toe to avoid straining my knee. Do not keep your foot flat, okay? We're gonna keep this going for 10 more seconds. And this is your pro tip for this movement. And rest, switch arms. 3, 2, and go. And breathe. Good job. So that rotation is key with that exercise. So hopefully you caught that. If not, don't worry, or you can continue this movement or replay it to learn your movements and your technique. Let's go into our next exercise. Clean squat to press. Remember, this round is a no repeat, so we will not repeat any movements. With our exercise, we're gonna perform a bicep curl, squat, and push for 45 seconds. And rest. I felt my shoulders on 1,000 at that final few reps, but that's what you want to feel as you max out on each single exercise. 30-second recovery, our final exercise comes up and we're stretching out. All right, let's go into our final exercise. We have a reverse lunge into a side raise. So a reverse lunge to side raise for 45 seconds. You do need your weights, and I suggest lightweight for this one. And go. And rest and breathe. Shake those arms out. That was a stinger right at the very, very end. Good job. Let's go into our cool down, which starts with our straddle stretch. Our feet wide. Take a deep breath. Hands coming up. Inhale. Exhale, going down into the stretch. Reaching for the floor. See if you can get your palms to the floor for 10 seconds. Next is our quad stretch. And our last stretch is our overhead stretch. So our arms are coming up. We're pushing through the ceiling, extending through the muscles, our lats, which is right through here. For a good stretch, feel free to move your hips to each side. And you can lean a little bit for an added stretch in your upper shoulders and back. And breathe. Good job on working out with me today. Today is all about putting yourself first, and you did that by showing up today. Every day is about showing up. Now we want to hear from you. We want to hear about your testimonials, your victories, whether big, small, whatever it is. We want to celebrate you on your process and your progress with us, because we know it is a journey and we want you to make it a lifestyle. If you want to shoot us your testimonials, your feedback, whatever questions, make sure you email us at jess@fitslay.com or just jump on our website at www.fitslay.com. See you soon.